Welcome back. Before we dive into project storytelling and mock interviews, I want to share something that can completely change the way you prepare for interviews. Most candidates think interviews are about giving the right answers, but interviewers are actually evaluating three core areas, and understanding these will instantly make your answers stronger and more focused. Let's break them down. First, your hard skills, what you know. These are your technical and analytical capabilities. How you gather requirements, how you write user stories, your understanding of Agile and SDLC, basic SQL or Excel skills, how you analyze data or processes. But here's the secret. Interviewers don't expect you to be a technical genius. They expect you to explain your knowledge clearly, with structure and real examples. If you can say, here's how I gathered requirements, here's the tool I used, here's the outcome, you're already ahead of most candidates. Number two, your soft skills, how you work. These matter even more than hard skills. Interviewers are assessing your ability to communicate clearly, handle ambiguity, work with difficult stakeholders, stay calm under pressure, collaborate with cross functional teams. For example, if they ask, tell me about a time you had conflicting requirement, they are not testing your memory. They are checking how you navigate conflict and influence decisions. Soft skills make or break a BA, and they shine through your tone, structure, and confidence. Number three, your impact. Do you add value? This is what interviewers really want. They want to know, did your work improve something? Did you solve a real problem? Did you save time, reduce errors, increase revenue, or improve a process? Numbers help, even simple ones. Saying, I reduced defects by 10% is far more powerful than I improved the process. Impact is what separates a doer from a difference maker. Alright, let's jump into one of the most powerful tools you will use in interviews, the STAR method. If you master STAR, your answers become structured, memorable, and most importantly, impactful. Most candidates ramble. They start explaining the entire project, then get lost mid answer, and the interviewer is left thinking, okay, but what did you actually do? STAR eliminates that confusion. It helps you tell a clear, concise story that highlights your problem solving skills and your results. Let's break it down. Situation. This is where you set the stage. What was the problem? What was the context? What was going wrong? You don't need a long backstory. 1 to 2 sentences is enough. Think of it as answering, what was happening? Why was this a problem? Example, the customer billing process had a high error rate, leading to delayed invoices and customer complaints. Short, clear, and sets up the rest of your story. Task. This is where you explain what you were responsible for. What was expected from you? Were you analyzing a process, gathering requirements, facilitating meetings, solving a conflict? This is not about the team. It's about your role. For example, I was assigned to identify the root cause and propose a solution that would reduce the error rate. This makes it very clear what success looked like. Action. This is the heart of your story. Interviewers want to know, what did you actually do? This is where a lot of candidates go wrong. They speak in we. In STAR, especially in interviews, you must speak in I. Describe the steps you took, the tools you used, and the decisions you made. For example, I interviewed stakeholders from billing, finance, and customer support, mapped the as is workflow in Lucidchart, and identified 3 system gaps causing the errors. I then worked with the development team to define user stories and acceptance criteria to fix those gaps. Specific, tactical, shows ownership. Result. This is the payoff. And interviewers care a lot about this part. What changed because of your work? What improved? Where possible, add numbers, even simple ones. For example, as a result, error rates dropped from 17% to 2% within 2 months of release, and invoice processing time improved by 30%. Clear, measurable impact. This is what makes your answer unforgettable. Here's how the complete answer sounds in real life in under 40 seconds. Our customer billing process had 17% error rate, causing delays and customer complaints. I was responsible for analyzing the process and proposing improvements. I conducted stakeholder interviews, mapped the as-is flow, found system gaps, and collaborated with the dev team to define user stories and acceptance criteria. After implementation, errors dropped to 2% and billing time improved by 30%. Now that's a strong structured answer. And notice how simple it is. STAR works because interviewers think in problem and solutions. When you answer using STAR, you're showing that you understand the business context, you know how to take ownership, you can break down a problem, you can communicate clearly, and most importantly, you deliver results. This is exactly how top BA candidates stand out. Now that you understand the STAR method, it's time to turn that structure into something even more powerful. Your 2-minute project pitch. This pitch is the foundation of your entire interview. It's usually the first question you will get. Can you walk me through one of your recent projects? Or tell me about your role in your last project. Now, most candidates panic here. They talk for too long, get lost in details, or end up explaining the entire SDLC from start to finish. But the best candidates, they deliver a clear, tight, memorable 2-minute story that positions them as a capable, confident BA right from the start. Let's build yours. Your pitch has 4 parts: simple, structured, and high impact. First, start with business problem. What was happening? Why did the project exist? What gap or challenge were you solving? This shows you understand the business context, not just task. For example, the company was experiencing a high rate of failed online orders, which directly impacted revenue and customer satisfaction. Number 2, explain your role. Interviewers want to know, what was your responsibility? Were you the BA, junior BA, lead BA, supporting role? Example, I was the business analyst responsible for requirements gathering, documenting user stories, and working closely with the dev and QA teams. Short, clear, and set boundaries. Number 3, highlight the actions you took. This is where STAR's action comes in, the steps you performed. Pick 3 to 4 key actions, not everything you did. Example, I facilitated workshops with the product team, mapped the as-is checkout flow, identified pain points, and translated them into user stories with acceptance criteria. This shows your thinking, your approach, and your BA toolkit. Number 4, end with impact and metrics. This is the closure, the part interviewers remember. If you only master one thing, master this. Quantify your results. Even simple numbers are better than none. For example, after implementation, failed orders dropped by 40%, checkout time improved by 25%, and customer complaints decreased significantly. This is what turns a story into success case. Metrics do 2 big things. They make your story credible. Anyone can say, I improved the process. You stand out when you can say how much. They show business value. Hiring managers care about outcomes: revenue, efficiency, accuracy, customer satisfaction. Even rough numbers are acceptable. Reduce defects by almost 15%, shorten processing time by 20%, increase team alignment across 3 departments. You're not expected to have exact financials, just measurable impact. Interviewers love when you tailor your story to the methodology they use. Here's how to do it naturally. If your project was agile, mention sprints, scrum ceremonies, backlog grooming, user stories and acceptance criteria, collaboration with devs and QA. Example, I worked closely with the scrum team, participated in daily stand-ups, and refined the backlog with the product owner. This instantly signals you understand the agile environment. If your project was waterfall, mention requirement gathering phase, BRDs, FRDs, sign-offs, UAT planning, change request. Example, I led the requirement phase, created the BRD and process flows, and coordinated UAT with business stakeholders. Waterfall roles can appear more structured and documentation heavy, so show that clearly. Let me show you what a polished pitch sounds like. On my previous project, the company was losing revenue because 17% of online orders were failing during checkout. I was the business analyst responsible for understanding the root cause and defining solutions. I facilitated workshops with product and engineering, mapped the as-is process, and identified 3 major bottlenecks. Then I wrote user stories, defined acceptance criteria, and collaborated with QA during testing. After the fixes were deployed, failed orders dropped by 17% to 2%, and checkout speed improved by about 30%. Clear, structured, impactful. And it takes less than 40 seconds. Imagine delivering that in an interview. Before you go, remember this. Technology changes every month. That's why on this channel, I regularly upload videos on latest tech trends, emerging technologies, career roadmaps, real doubts students face. If you have real-time questions like which skill suits me, is this technology still relevant, what should I learn next, Check out the other videos on this channel and comment your real doubts below. Many of my videos are created directly from your questions. Subscribe if you want honest, updated, no-nonsense tech guidance. Because in tech, right information at the right time can change your entire career. And that brings us to the end of today's video. Thank you so much for watching and supporting this channel. If you haven't subscribed yet, now is the perfect time. Because here on Tech Bytes with Leena, we keep you ahead with best, most practical, industry-ready content out there. So hit that subscribe button, share this with someone who needs it, and I'll see you in the next one.